Okay, good morning. This week we are on something a little bit different. It is a sort of Fowler and Gilbert based video, but this is for the sadistic people out there that get off on people having problems. So this is, dude, where's my problems? We've been on a particular job where you want everything to go right, nothing to go wrong, everything needs to go as smoothly as possible, and we have had nothing but cock-ups all week and breakdowns. Starting with this. So this is now back in our yard, but this had been transported and somebody had forgot to fold the mirror in, and during the journey it has been caught on some form of a branch and smashed the mirror off. Cock-up number one.
And then?
Second on the list is the big roller. Now we've had nothing but problems with this, and we were told by Bomag themselves when they come out that there was a problem with the wiring loom and bits and bobs. It'll basically go forwards and backwards, but the vibration element will stop working. It packed up altogether and wouldn't move. We've had Chris Allen out, he has come, and as it turns out, there was some issue with the AdBlue and not with the wiring loom or the ECU. He has disconnected the AdBlue system. I don't know what he's done, but it's now working. So that one is at least back up and running.
And then?
Third on the list, bearing in mind things come in threes apparently, so this should finish off our list, is this. We've had this since 2011, I think it was. Been a belting good bit of kit up until probably the last 12 months when the gremlins have moved into the electric system inside it, and now it intermittently revs up and doesn't and moves when it wants to on its own. So we've got to have this looked at, because the other day we got somebody stranded about 40 feet in the air.
Hey!
The biggest problem on the whole bank. So as we've moved into our second bout of three, with Marchin being the first problem, the next one is on the tractor. So we've just brought this back, so I'm going to have to show you everything on the trailer because I didn't get time whilst on the job, nor did I overly want to highlight all the issues that we were having. Starting with the tractor. We had to take the tractor and low loader to this particular job because there was two parts to it. There was one part at the main farm and there was one part at another secret location that cannot be disclosed at this time. So we needed to move plant between A and B, so we took the tractor and low loader down. Whilst moving round, somebody has knocked my mirror off this side of the tractor, which has caused me a load of trouble loading and every time I want to move any materials around, because not having a mirror on a tractor and trailer is an absolute nightmare.
And then?
The third one of the second bout of three has been the back end. Now we took the John Deere because the John Deere has always been a trusty favourite that has never gone wrong. However, this burst. Now this is a pipe that goes in the back and it links back to the hydraulic connection point where the trailer's connected. This has split on this bit here, and bearing in mind we are in the Oxfordshire area, it has gone down and it has to be a Saturday morning as well, doesn't it? So this was a massive problem because we were then stranded, stuck, desperately needed the tractor to finish what we were doing, and you can't operate it because it's pissing oil out. Luckily for me, a friend of mine down there knew somebody that would open up shop and make us a hydraulic hose that would get us out the shit for the morning. So that's what we've done. So we've had to, in fact, Ditty and the digger driver and Sean had to take this pipe off, which I can't even see where it goes because it goes that way into the back of the tractor. How they've done it, I don't really know, bearing in mind with minimal tools for any mechanicking purposes. But ultimately they have repaired that with a temporary hose. Now some people are saying it might be best to leave that because this will continually happen. However, it does want sorting and sorting properly. So Chris, you've got to come back and sort that one out. Okay, that's the second lot of three.
And then?
The trusty old roller. First of all, we had a breakdown. We were just rolling this little car park area that we'd done really nicely. A bit of an awkward car park to do. We were just rolling it up and boom, oil pipe burst on the underside of the steering. Emptied a chunk of oil across the new freshly laid stone, which was a bit of a nightmare. I've scraped that back off, I put it in the bottom and put some nice fresh on the top. But Chris Allen had to come down because this was then stranded and we couldn't get it back out over the nice tarmac element of the car park without the oil going everywhere. So that was the first thing on this. So Chris Allen come out and did that, so thank you very much. Second thing then, we loaded it onto the trailer, we took it back to the farm where we were working, we unloaded it, and then the exhausters fell off, and now this is actually louder than my pickup. So there's the next two of the next bout of these things coming through.
And then?
Okay, so the last of my third bout of 3 was, I haven't actually got a picture of it, but it was the new 135 Hitachi Digger of ours. This was actually on me. I was tracking it through when we started the car park and there was thistles and nettles all up to here. And as I tracked it through, there was a pile of stone. I sort of scratched it around. I tracked over the pile of stone and the one side give, and on the underside of the machine, as in on the undercarriage, there is a metal box in where you keep the diesel refilling pipe. It's not a brilliant idea in my opinion. I've always been worried about it on the new machine. I don't know why they've come up with it, because it does get covered in muck and anything can clearly knock it like it has done. Under all this vegetation was a ginormous tree stump, which I didn't see, tracked over it, smashed the box completely to pieces, and we've had to remove that because then it was catching on the underside of the machine as the machine was turning. So now we have a diesel pipe that we have to keep putting in the cab at the end of the day so nobody leaves it anywhere until we've got a chance to redo this box. On the old machine, it was a lot better because they had it on the side steps where you go up onto the top of the machine. There was an access point there where you stored it. That was a far better idea. So Hitachi, please listen to me on that one. Okay, so given that things come in 3s, I thought we would be done now because we've had not just 3, but we've had 3 lots of 3 problems. But it hasn't stopped there. We got this back to the farm and the ram failed, as in something's gone wrong with the ram. So in order to get this ramp down, there was nothing we could do. We've had to cap the pipes off, take the ram off, and this now has to be manually dropped to the floor and lifted back up, which is very heavy as well. So it's then a 2-man job to lift that and stay it. So that was another one that we've had an issue. So that's first of the 4th 3. Go this side. So second lot of 4th 3 is this side. Now this ram is absolutely fine, but when that ramp was removed and taken off, I think it's then caused a problem on the underside of the trailer on what we call the check valve, where the oil flows through. So now this will go down in 6-inch sections at a time if you slightly lift it and go back down again. So luckily there was no one around for us to look a complete and utter bunch of prats in front of, and everything was well hidden. I don't think anybody thinks we've had a single problem on these jobs. And I've got one more.
And then?
This is the last one of the last sort of week and a half's worth of problems that we've had. So while we were out on site with all of them issues that we were having, back at base here, this packed up. Basically inside here there's massive, ginormous, massive rams that operate and they push the punch or the shear through, and this is what we make all the parts that you've seen in previous videos to everything that we manufacture here. So every single cleat that is welded to all of our material is all made by one of these machines, or this machine in actual fact, or was. This packed up, the ram cracked, there was another crack in another part of the casing. We weighed up, it was about 12 grand to repair. We can't live without this. We're always hand to mouth on parts, so this had to be rectified very, very quickly. We had to buy one of these. So we've ended up going for this. This is a Geeka Hydrocrop 110S. Now, this is a machine that we haven't had before. When we first started out, we had a Kingsland 110. That was a fantastic machine actually, everybody loved that. We then, when that got tired and old, because we bought that second hand to get us going, we then moved over to a brand new Morgan Rushworth. It's been okay, that machine, but ultimately it hasn't lasted anywhere near as long as what we thought. Now, in terms of how we run our business, there is an element of maintenance costs that we budget for. There is also cock-ups and breakdowns that we budget a little amount for, not a lot. And there is also obviously a lifespan on the machinery that we use. Now the Morgan Rushworth I was hoping was going to last us at least another 2, maybe 3 years yet, and that has packed up. So this has been a very, very costly one that has not been within our budget. So we've had to change some things around in order to be able to afford it, because we can't work without it. This is imperative to what we do. So this machine is a belt and good bit of kit. I'm not going to profess I know much about it because I've been away and I've only just come back and seen it, but principally it is the same, or does the same job, hopefully a lot better and lasts a lot longer than the Morgan Rushworth did. So this machine here is the final one of our 12 cock-ups of this week. So my theory of things coming 3 or 3 lots of 3 at least has gone completely out the window. So now I'm going with, that has been 1 cock-up for every month of the year. So nothing else can happen now until this time next year. It's been very costly as well. Like I say, these things, certainly this one wasn't within our budget. Now, in terms of cost, this last sort of week and a half, if I weigh up costs for call out for Chris to come down, which he's been very good actually, but to come down to Oxfordshire to fix them bits and bobs, the stuff that we brought back, the new RAM, all the bits and bobs, and this, we are talking a £55,000 week in cock-ups. So I need to rethink now, because I'd got some plans of some stuff that we were about to invest in. I've had to put that again on the back burner now, which is going to cause more problems, because ultimately one of which was Cherry Picker. Cherry Picker is constantly causing us mither, but at the same time, I've just spent the equivalent of just over 1 Cherry Picker's value on fixing everything and getting us back up and running. So unfortunately, there isn't going to be a montage this week, because this week has all been around the cock-ups and the breakdowns that we've had and the costs. But we'll leave you with a little clip at the end here of me with my head in my hands, sulking because I've had to pay so much money out on all these cock-ups and some pound signs and people depressed generally. Montage. Boom.